Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here, back with another video. Today, we are starting our series of starter build guides for Season 17. So, we are here in the PTR still. I think the PTR is only going to be live for like another hour, but it doesn't matter. We're not using any PTR items right now. So, let's go ahead and jump right into the gear selections. So, for Season 17, the Witch Doctor does start with the Jade Harvester set, Raiment of the Jade Harvester. So your 2-piece bonus, when Haunt lands on an enemy that is already afflicted by Haunt, it instantly deals 3,500 seconds worth of Haunt damage. That's 100% of your damage. That is your damage dealer. So your 4-piece, Soul Harvest gains the effect of every rune, and has its cooldown reduced by 1 second every time you cast Haunt or Locust Swarm. That's kind of your toughness. Ideally, you're going to mix this with Lakumba's Ornament, which reduces all damage taken by 6% for each stack of Soul Harvest you have. But since this is a starter guide, we're not using Lakumbas, we're not using any legendary powers. We are only using the 2- and 4-piece bonus of the Raiment of the Jade Harvester set, as well as marquee level gems in the helm and pants. Also, quick note, I only had ancient gear for this set, other than the shoulders, helm, and pants, so we are using a Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube to kind of balance that out so that we don't have a huge stat buff from like ancient gloves or ancient boots or ancient chest or something like that. So that's how we're keeping this as entry level as possible. So as you saw, nothing really beneficial in the cube except the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which doesn't really count. Then we have all yellow gear. Currently we're sitting at 10% cooldown reduction, which doesn't really matter. We did roll some Haunt damage onto our chest. Ideally, we would have gotten 15%, but that's life. We're using a Topaz in our helm to reduce our resource cost by 10.5%. This is going to help us auto-cast Haunt, just constantly casting Haunt no matter what. As you can see, we're literally just holding down Haunt, and our mana bar is barely moving. That's because we have fairly high resource cost reduction. That's because we have resource cost reduction on a couple of pieces, plus in our helm, and then in our skills we are using Rush of Essence. But more on skills in a minute. The general playstyle is you're going to find an elite pack. You're going to light them up with Locust Swarm and Haunt. You're going to continue casting Haunt until the elite goes boom. That's it. It's that simple. So for skills, we're going to be using Haunt with the Poison Spirit rune. This allows enemies to take 20% more damage from your attacks once they're haunted. This stacks up nicely with our buff. It means that every time you haunt one enemy, they're taking not only that 3,500 seconds of haunt damage instantly, they're also getting 20% more damage than that. Zombie dogs, we're using the lifelink rune for some toughness. 10% of the damage done to us is instead dealt to our zombie dogs. Soul Harvest with the Languish rune. It doesn't really matter. With the 4-piece bonus, we get all 5 runes. Next up, we're using Hex with the Angry Chicken rune. Now, I choose this, number one, because chicken form is really fun, but more importantly, because it does give us another mobility skill. Jaunt with Spirit Walk, or Spirit Walk with the Jaunt rune, is what you're going to want to use most of the time. But Spirit Walk with the Jaunt rune is what you're going to want to use if at all possible, because it does grant you immunity. But it's good to have Angry Chicken also, because we are taking quite a bit of damage in this set and we're not terribly tough. So it's important to be able to move around. Our final skill is Locust Swarm with the Pestilence rune that automatically spreads to 2 additional enemies every time you cast it. For passives, we're using Confidence Ritual for 25% additional damage to enemies within 20 yards. Spirit Vessel, which is just our cheat death. Pierce the Veil, all of our damage is increased by 20%, but our mana costs are increased by 30%. We need this extra damage. This build struggles against density, but if you can manage to hit one target over and over again, it does die. And finally, Rush of Essence. Spirit spells return 100 mana over 10 seconds. So that means our Haunt, if we cast one Haunt for 50 mana, over the next 10 seconds, we're going to gain twice that much Essence back. Or mana, not Essence. Sorry, I've been playing too much Necromancer. So that about does it for the spells. Like I said, we are not using anything beneficial in the cube, just the Ring of Royal Grandeur, just so that we have the 4-piece bonus. As always, no beneficial Paragon, only movement speed, because running without movement speed sucks. I say that in every video. I say that in every starter build guide video. But that's going to do it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you get off to a good start on your seasonal journey. This is going to be a fun season, but if you're playing Witch Doctor, I hope you like Jade, because Jade is your starter set, and it's arguably your strongest option, other than possibly Legacy Nightmare Spirit Barrage. So, hopefully you enjoy the Jade set. I personally don't really like Witch Doctor, period, but that's just my preference. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is Primetime CP23, and I'm out.